What is going on, people? There's a lot of confusion about what's currently happening in Russia, Ukraine, so on and so forth. So I decided that I wanted to make a video. I speak pretty good Russian. I have Russian Ukrainian descent. I am Jewish by race, so on and so forth. Whatever. I was literally in a Russian bathhouse right now, and the story is unfolding so quickly. That's all that everybody was talking about. So I thought, why not get some content out? And a lot of people are like, what's going on? So there's a group called Wagner. Wagner is a private military group, and it is essentially the private army of Russia. And they don't work within the laws of Russia. And the way that they get people in their army, there's various ways, but one of the ways they do it is they take people that are in prison and they reduce their sentence, and they actually give them better pay than the actual Russian army. So Russian army pay for military is absolute shit. Wagner pay is not great by American standards, but it's definitely a lot better. Wagner was the main force that was fighting in Bakhmut right now. And one of the criticisms of Wagner to the Russian generals, so their criticism is more to the Russian generals than specifically to Putin. So it's not directly to Putin per se, it's to the generals more so. I'm not saying they're not against Putin, I'm just saying that it's more so towards the generals. They hate them. And when they were in Bakhmut, they used to ask for a certain amount of supplies, an X amount of artillery, an X amount of guns, an X amount of ammo, whatever. And if they said, we need 100 of, let's say, for example, 100, they were being sent 50 or 40 or 60 or even less. And at times they said that you're literally sabotaging us in Bakhmut for failure. Like, you're setting us up for failure. Then there was some, thoughts from Wagner that Russia's trying to make them fail so that Russian military can come in and claim the victory in Bakhmut and not give the actual victory to Wagner. Wagner, and then a lot of times when there's some conflicts throughout the world, a lot of people are like, oh, Russia's there, for example, Syria. It's not specifically Russia, it's actually Wagner Group, and that's how Russia kind of distances themselves when it comes to conflicts around the world, saying, no, it's not actually us, and it's mercenaries, and the mercenaries happen to be the mercenaries of Russia unofficially, but they're basically the thugs of Russia, if you want to call it like that, whatever. So there's a lot of beef between the head of Wagner and Yevgeny and the Russian generals, and he basically called them, essentially fat fucks that are eating really, really good while Russian young men are being killed and they're dying because you guys don't give a shit, and your kids, like the rich people of Russia, your kids are just running away, going to some vacations instead of fighting. And that's why you guys don't care about Russian lives. You guys are trying to win победили шапками. There's a saying in Russian that means you're going to win with hats. That's the way we won World War II in Russia. And that you guys don't have no value of lives. Long story short, there's a lot of beef, and Wagner has a base, and then he claimed that several hours ago his base was shot with a rocket, and this he's blaming on the Russian generals, and that rocket killed thousands of his men. So he goes on publicly on TV and he makes a statement, and he says, I'm gonna make it very, very small. He says, look, we got 25,000 soldiers. Мы придем разбираться. If you guys are Russian speaking, you'll know what that means. That basically means we're gonna go figure this out. And that's essentially the way it used to be, like with a Russian mob and stuff like that, or like Russian gangsters. It's like, yo, we're gonna have a sit down, we're gonna figure this out. What exactly that means, we don't know. But he says it's time for our country to to get strength again, and what's happening right now is complete fucked up. What's happening with our country? So he says we got 25,000 men. We're gonna march on Moscow right now, and we're gonna figure this out. He said we're not getting rid of the entire government. We want to get rid of or take control of part of the military part of the government. He says, we're not here to kill women or children or fight with you. He says, anybody that wants to join the cause can join the cause. but if you stand in our way, we're going to destroy you. So he says, everybody stand out of our way. We're not trying to make a beef with anybody. We just want to deal with this. We're going to figure this out, and somebody's going to have to answer for killing our thousands of our soldiers, our comrades. Stay out of our way, but you can join us. Now, there's a southern command. The city is called Rosta D something. Anyways, and that southern command is actually the southern command of military command of what's happening right now in Ukraine. And that's the first checkpoint. So that first checkpoint, essentially nobody's stopping him. Even though there's orders, nobody's stopping him. So then this guy comes out and says, look, we passed the first checkpoint. Nobody's bothering us. There are a lot of videos coming out of Russia where people are filming it, where Wagner's just going into the main military building. No problem, no issues. And the guy from Wagner, Evgeny, the guy said, look, there was, the conscripts, the young men, nobody's bothering us. Nobody's stopping us. We're just moving forward. They're not following any orders. There was a helicopter that was sent to attack Wagner after this. They shot that helicopter down. It was an attack helicopter. And Wagner is moving forward. Now, in terms of Russia, the people that are involved right now is the Russian Guard. I guess you can consider the Russian Guard like National Guard, or you can consider them maybe like Marines, where they're controlled by the president, but they're not actually the full army, if that makes sense. It's not a one-to-one. I'm just trying to give you guys an analogy. So and then there's like the FSB, which is like the old KGB. There's the new ones. There's like a mix of CIA and FBI together. So those units have an arrest warrant for this guy, and they are saying that he's promoting violence, a violent uprising. And he says, the guy from Wagner is like, we don't give a shit. It's do or die. We're moving forward, and we're gonna get there. And it is moving forward. If they stop him, he's gonna get killed. However, now his back is against the wall, and it seems like a lot of people are taking his side. Now, this is just rumors from what I'm hearing in Russian chat rooms and from people that I'm talking, so I can't confirm this. Everything is it's moving really, really fast. I'm trying to keep you guys informed and up to date. He is basically saying that there's a lot of mid-level military that is actually taking his side. This is as per the leader of Wagner, that he says, not only are they not fighting us, they're actually taking our side, and there's actually politicians and high-ranking people that are like, we would take Wagner's side on this, because a lot of people are tired with what's happening in Russia. A lot of people are losing their sons, their brothers, their nephews, and their loved ones in this war that's absolutely ridiculous. So this is what's happening with the Wagner, and Spetsnaz actually raided. Spetsnaz is like their Navy SEALs, special forces of Russia, the highest special forces. They raided the home base in St. Petersburg of the Wagner group. So it's like literally do or die. They have nowhere else to go. They have to get this done. Now, 25,000 people doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a big army, especially these people are battle-tested. They were fighting in Bakhmut. So they're not, killers of the killers. They're not the best of the best, but they have much more experience than most of the Russian military right now. They actually have wartime experience, and their comrades, right? They just fought through a crazy, crazy battle. So it's very interesting to see what's happening. There's rumors that Ukraine is intensifying the counteroffensive. There's also another rumor, and the reason I'm saying rumors is because these are rumors that I'm hearing from like Russian media, Russian chat rooms, things like that. I can't confirm it. Now, there is rumors that some of the top Russian officials are fleeing, and there's not too many countries that they could flee. One of them happens to be Uruguay. I don't know if that's true or not. Also, nobody has heard from Vladimir Putin where he is. Nobody knows. Ukraine supposedly is intensifying the counteroffensive right now. It's possible Ukraine during this weekend is going to take Donbass and Crimea, because there might be a skeleton crew, and the people that are defending it don't want to fight against Ukraine. They're like, listen, we don't know what's happening. Why would we want to fight them? Maybe Ukraine takes it back. Also, there's rumors that this is happening with a coordination between Putin and Wagner to get rid of the Russian generals, and Putin's going to blame the Russian generals to be like, listen, the reason why this happened, the reason why we attacked Ukraine is because I had really bad information from my generals. They effed me over, and we got rid of them. And kind of backtrack on what's happening in Ukraine, because a lot of people are saying that there's no way for Russia to win the Ukraine war, as much as there's no way for Ukraine to win this war. It's kind of like a stalemate. But public opinion is going down in Russia. Also, in Russia, there is videos of armored cars going through Russia, armored personnel carriers, things like that, like military convoys. And these are people in Russia speaking, and they're like, oh, wow, this is what we have to see in our city right now. So it is really happening in Moscow. They are, reinforcing the city. They are starting to defend it, and they're getting ready for the worst. Is this a civil war? I don't know. Is this a coup? I don't know. What's happening? Exactly what I told you. There's a guy with a personal army of 25,000 that's marching onto Moscow that has a beef, and he wants to figure this out with the generals that killed thousands of his men, that he's been fighting a bloody war in Bakhmut for, the last half a year. And this is where we are right now. I bought 1,000 shares of Palantir at 744. I bought 1,000 shares after hours on top. Why? This is only going to be beneficial for Palantir. If Ukraine wins, if Russia withdraws, if there's a takeover of Putin, this is all good for Palantir. When Ukraine wins, if Ukraine wins, all headlines, all news stories are going to give a lot of praise, not only to Palantir. It's not Palantir is winning, but a huge thing is from Palantir, because Palantir gave them the software to survive. They gave them the edge to survive this entire time. And make no mistake about it, anybody says Russia's winning, maybe, maybe not. But Ukraine was supposed to fall in 3 days. It's been like, what, a year and a half, 2 years now? It's a long time, a year and a half. So by all measures, Ukraine is still here, which means they are winning, because they were supposed to be wiped out. So Palantir is going to get a lot of praise. Also, the reconstruction of Ukraine, people are not giving Palantir enough credit. They're going to make a shit ton of money from this. Remember, they're doing 3 things: defense of Ukraine, reconstruction of Ukraine, and big business of Ukraine to become a technological hub of Europe. This is my opinions of what's happening. This is my personal views of what's happening. Nothing I say should be advice or anything like that. I'm just giving you the information as I get it. Confirmed, not confirmed, I don't know. I do know that on Russian television, again, I speak Russian, they literally stopped all broadcasts for one moment, and they said that the claims that Russia striked a missile against Wagner Group is false. That's a lie. If it's a lie, why would you stop literally all national television, hack it, just to say that it's a lie? Also, there are some hackers that keep playing the Wagner guy that he's talking about. We got 25,000 deep. We're rolling on Moscow. They're like hacking televisions, and they're playing this little speech of him talking. And he's been very critical of Russian government for a while here. Hopefully this puts an end some way, shape, and form to what's happening in Ukraine, which is definitely going to boost the economy of the United States. Remember, the second this is over and you got to rebuild Ukraine, it's all United States companies that are coming in there. Not all, but a huge lion's share. And this is going to bolster everything. And I think Palantir is going to get a shit ton of money from this. That's just my own personal opinion. Guys, thank you so much. I hope this in some way, shape, or form helps you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then again, remember, this is moving so fast. I'm just giving you the information as I have it right now. I was literally on the phone with Amit, and I'm like, let me make a video. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you later.